Hey, looks like we're on. Hi, everybody. Session 43 of Curse of the Crimson Throne is behind us, and let's do the recap. So, prep was pretty extensive for this portion. We had Scarwall, a whole chapter coming up. So, lots of NPCs, proxies being found, maps, portals on the maps, those kinds of things. And really just scratching the surface. I have a lot more prep to do. The castle itself is going to be a gigantic dungeon crawl, and I'm so far pretty unprepared for it, but I have time, with weeks between sessions, with at least a week between each session, I can prep as I go. And that's going to be what's going on. I recently relocated, so, things are in a bit of chaos, and I'm taking my time as I can get it. So pins. I gave them the entire GM map of the hinterlands to sort of give them the lay of the land where everything was without having to put my own marks on the map. Just they may as well know. Unless something strange happens, they're not traveling again really much for the rest of this adventure, right? They're going to do this castle and then they're going to go to Corvosa and face the queen, and then it's done. So I reused the Chapter 4 Orc Band, but tweaked them up a little bit for the orcs at the gate. I understand the foreshadowing and the coda sort of refrain that this adventure design does. It's like, oh, look, orcs. Oh, look, the same orcs. I get it, right? I do. But orcs are pretty boring for me as a DM, so I could have skipped this encounter entirely, but I, I don't know. In hindsight, I think I probably would have. If you run this, skip that encounter. It's done. So with the Sayal and Laori, these are two NPCs that they meet. I got their images ready to toss those out. And then I started proxying NPCs. A shadow is a shadow, a wraith is a wraith, an umbral dragon is a shadow dragon, and so on and so forth like that. I've got maybe a dozen of those ready just as I was going through the chapter and seeing what was going to be needed. I've got them all pulled up. The one I didn't convert was Leori. Oops. So I started with a Drow Priestess on her, and I'll just redo the spells and some of the stats, buffer a little bit, and then she'll be good to go. So I thought we would do travel hindered by random encounters. Laurie would reach out to Bishop, who was the last person she had talked to, according to episode 23. So 20 episodes ago. And we do the role play encounter between them, and then we go to the Babrican. That's pretty much exactly what happened. No real surprises through most of that, except that they used a teleport to get to Scarwall, and they didn't have any way of knowing that it worked. I used the mishap table line for description only, and they successfully rolled above the required number to teleport there. So they teleported to a place that was described to be like Scarwall. Excuse me. And in fact was Scarwall. So that was fun. We kind of role played that out for a while. Um, they fought the orcs and grand times were had. In the strange undead happenings, I thought we still had that robe of bones, so I called it out. We don't. Apparently, we sold it. Oops, my bad. I should have looked at the Fantasy Grounds does a group inventory. I should have looked at that, and I just didn't. Yeah, so not a whole lot to talk about there, but the party. Oh no, I'm sorry. Travel hindered by random encounters. So I had the random encounter table. I did roll on it. I got a manticore. They used intimidate to stare him down, which I very much appreciated because I didn't want to do a million pointless uh, combats with wolverines and bandits and such. So I guess I had higher hopes for that table than it turned out to be. And then after I rolled on it and I got the Manticore result, then I started looking at the other results and I'm like, well, none of these others would have been any better or more interesting. I didn't want to throw a random dirt scrabble map up there and have them fight just one monster. I could have, it might have been more realistic, but yeah, again, for reasons already discussed in prior episodes, go watch those if you haven't already. There's a reason that I'm ready for this to conclude in a satisfying way for all parties. So that's it. Like I said, 43 sessions and 43 of these little recap videos now in the bag, and game scheduled for next week. We're making progress. We're in chapter 5 of 6. We will soon be done. Um, if anybody wants to reach out, if anybody has anything that they'd like to discuss, you got all the options, and I have an open door. Thank you for watching this far, and we'll see you in about a week.